What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day. Just going to get right into Ethereum here. Keep it short and sweet for you. Hello to everybody on TikTok as well. So for Ethereum here, we have our little Bart Simpson pattern here coming out. I'm surprised that not many are talking about it. I just noticed it now. It's always a fun one. So coming into the beginning of the year, once again, yearly pivot, 12M. 1989 been a major target of ours to the upside. We're looking for a potential small pullback. When we got there, did not get it. Got a really nice, just clean 4-hour claim right when we came up into it. Right here, got one little wick into it, and then basically boom, back test, and off we go. Right, so we're looking for that next box above us, which came in just a little bit ahead of time. But we had the Q122 low, and we've got an untapped monthly pivot up here about $2,200. There's a 1-to-1 on a fib extension trend here as well. Comes up in this box. So front ran this box just a bit. But one of the more important things was when we looked at this over the weekend, right? So one thing that most were probably trying to get in with was this pennant triangle, however you want to view this. Had a little breakout here, came up, took the high, and what we really did was we came up here and we swung failed this high right here, came back down. This was on Sunday, so right before the weekly close. Come down, ran it to the low, comes back up. What do we do right here? Right, so this is how we manage our position along the way. This is where I've been looking for shorts, right, just to come back down, even just to the yearly pivot, if anything. And even though we did front run the box here, we did have a really nice run up yesterday. So if you missed this take of the high here, right, one thing that I was posting in the group yesterday, it was our previous day high actually, but it was actually a swing failed previous day high. We actually ran it down to the previous day low, previous day high, took both of them. Really nice, just clean range trade for the day yesterday. And then we had the weekly open back test, and down we went, right? So now we've come into, once again, getting a little, excuse me, getting a little back test of the yearly pivot. We got a little local gold pocket down here, and then we've got the quarterly VWAP, that red line right there. So this gold pocket isn't extremely substantial. This is just from this recent low to high. So at the moment, it's one of two things here. Technically, my lower targets are, kind of activated at the moment, which is all the way back down to like 1683, 1623 in that region. Kind of have to anticipate that we may see those. These are statistical targets here for the month, which comes in at, like I said, about 1683. Thing is, I still anticipate running it up a little bit to this $2,200 mark. At the moment, however, you do have to be a little patient and kind of wait for that confirmation. And right now, what that is coming back above that 12M, right? So you can see at the moment we're getting some rejections here. We're spending a lot of time down here in this region. However, this could be, where some larger players are loading up for potential run back up. So I think everybody's getting a little bearish a little early. But either way, it doesn't matter what I think. What I'm looking for is going to be this, right? At the moment, you got to anticipate more downside. As far as a range, we are in previous week. We're back in the previous week range here. Okay. You're sitting right at that gold pocket there. We're sitting right at the EQ, so the right of the middle of the range. So you're dead ass in the middle, right? And we always joke about not diddling in the middle. So technically, target at the moment is going to be back to the point of control, 1912. If we come down in this area, I just can't imagine we won't just rotate the range in a hole, come down to 1846. But like I said, the difference, the determining factor to change that is reclaiming the 12M pivot. So 1989. Something along the lines of this, right? Come back up, start seeing at least on the smaller time frame, 15-minute up into an hour, definitely a 4-hour. Get a candle close in that level in that region. And then from there, we look to take it back up to at least the previous week value area high, so 2087, back to the week open. But I would imagine if we're going to turn around here, we come back and tag these targets, about $2,200. So that's the game plan for me at the moment. I did have a short right at this week open back test here. I closed it at the yearly pivot. So now I'm actually looking for a long potentially in this region. So um, won't ignore a potential additional short if we come up and we just get rejected off the 12M. But yeah, I could see this really coming up, getting a reclaim, at least running back to some of these regions. Maybe put in a lower high and continue lower. But I'd really like to see, and this is just all I, what it doesn't matter what I want, but it's something along the lines of this come up, clear these highs, come into these pretty, statistical targets here at the high here as well. And then if we get a rejection around that region, I think that, the recipe is there for a substantial drop. And maybe we come down there now, that's something you got to be open to. But the month pivot is still a big target of mine for the rest of this month. We only got about 9 or 10 days here. Does not have to hit by any means, but it's we 7 out of 10 usually do within that next month. So that's how I'll be playing this. Really, at the moment, key level is just going to be that yearly pivot right there at 1989. Do we get a back test and continue lower? Do we just come up and claim it, run it up a bit again, and then after that, the level for me is going to be $2,200 to watch. But for me, it just would make a lot of sense to run it up again. But we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. But that's the strategy at the moment, the trading plan, I guess, so to speak. And we will get some answers down the road here. So anybody in the group, I'll be posting updates along the day as usual. Like I said, yesterday's trading was pretty simple. Let's get out of this real quick, and we'll just kind of zoom this in. I mean, the trade of the day, like I said, weekly open confluence, but previous day data. This is from yesterday, so this is what we were anticipating. Right, you came down here, swung the previous day low, ran it up, swung the previous day high. This was also your weekly open as well. So you got the SFP of the previous day high, back test of the weekly open, and then we came on down, right? So the overall target had remained. We had the weekly pivot down here, right? So it's not all about just aiming for one spot. You take profits along the way, but we had a weekly pivot, which was our statistical target for the week. And that came in at 2037. That has now been met. And then the larger one for me, one that made more sense, was coming back down to the 12M. And then one thing that I want to point out actually before I go is another reason I kind of like the idea, and that's all it is at the moment. Granted, I'm really leaning this way, but we'll see. I'm just paying attention for it to start playing out, right? And then kind of going to execute on it if possible. I kind of covered this multiple times. Let's see if I can fit it on this little mini screen. There it is. Okay. When looking for a pattern in the market, right? So you can see we have a pretty nice, large, over a year Adam and Eve double bottom. I refer to it as the goldfish pattern as a joke. But we just got the breakout. And even though we're kind of swinging past that neckline a little bit, once again, the reclaim, the neckline is basically the 12M pivot. So we get that reclaim of that region. I could easily see everyone getting super stoked that we're just, came down 2000 held, roughly 2000, 2K held as support, and, push up another 10%, up in this region would be where probably everybody funnels in, because the target after that is really just going to be, eating up this volume gap here, if you want to call it that. And then you got the measured move, that most will probably start drawing out of this Adam and Eve double bottom takes you up to like $3,000. And while I do think that the target of 3K is, possible over here in the next few weeks, I think that a substantial pullback first, and I say first, but substantial pullback we're due, I guess is all I'll say. So just something to be cautious of. And one for me aligns really well with this monthly pivot down here. It would not affect the overall uptrend, obviously. If we came down and we actually met this region, you'd still be putting in, you got lows, highs, higher low, potentially higher high in this region. Maybe it already came in. And then even if we came down to that month pivot, which is like a 20% drop, you're still putting in a higher low. So the uptrend is still intact. It's not necessarily at risk of being over in the sense of that. But just as we got right here, with the little swoop doop there. Just as you got right here, right? Was a 20% pullback after about a 60% impulse. So we're at about 60% once again. So 20% pullback, higher low, very healthy pullbacks, corrections. There's a gold pocket here from overall low to high, comes in that region. Like I said, you got statistical targets all lining up in that region. You have a quarterly point of control in that region. It just makes a lot of sense. Like I said, not marrying it, but definitely aware of what is below us, what is around us, what's above us. So all we can do is try to prepare. Hope you all enjoyed this content and this brief little update here. I will be back on it again tomorrow, and hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And until next time, everybody, CEO signing off.